let's have a little coffee chat, shall we? Because I have some big news. I filmed these one day ahead of time, so today it's December 2nd. Always love that photo. And today I started day 1 of half marathon prep. If you know me at all, this is huge. And here's the reason. Okay, I hate running. What? You hate running and you're gonna do a half marathon. Why on earth would you do that? Good question. I hate running, but I love discipline. I'm a person that so strongly believes in pushing yourself to your limit and being consistent, in doing hard things, in pushing yourself to be uncomfortable if you know it's good for growth, because the best way we can prepare ourselves for life are to do those hard things. If you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, then when one happens that you can't control, it's gonna be easier. We've talked about this a little bit before. It's just the way my brain works, okay? And it's the way a lot of very successful people's brain works, so I'm happy mine works this way. But a huge part of it for me, with this specifically, is that I've hated running my whole life. And I've always been of the mindset that you have to love running as a kid to be able to love running as an adult. Or you sat in the camp where you actually hated running, but you did it because you had to. I don't want to sit in either of those places. I want to sit in forcing myself to start something uncomfortable, to learn more about myself, and to find, hopefully, a love for running. After my 1 mile this morning, I have no idea. I have no idea what's gonna come out of this, whether I will love running or not, but I do know I'm gonna finish. I know that's gonna happen because I'm determined and I'm disciplined and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get there. Number 2, I have so many people in my corner that believe in me. Could I have started this January 1st? Yes. Why wait? Genuinely, why should I wait for January 1st? If I know this is something I wanna do, why should I wait? So I'm starting a 12 to 16 week marathon prep, half marathon prep. I hate running. And I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm excited, I'm pumped. I decided I needed to share it with you guys from day 1. 1, for accountability. Y'all gonna hold me accountable. I know that much. You're gonna remind me if I'm not doing what I need to be doing. But also too, I think it's so important that we get rid of this narrative that you have to love running to start. Or that if you hate running, you'll always hate running. I don't wanna believe that. I don't want to believe that at all. I think that you can learn to love something. And I think if you start doing something that's hard, you will eventually learn to love it. So, I'm really hopeful that I'm right. Because if not, I will be straight up with you guys. If in the fall I hate running, you will not find me doing another half marathon. No ma'am. But I don't anticipate that to be the case. It could happen though. But yeah, that's the big update. Day 1 of marathon training started today with a 1 mile run inside because it's freaking freezing per the frost on the grass in Texas. Fine. So now I'm gonna drink my little coffee. I'm gonna have the best time because how cute is this mug? I'm gonna have my time with Jesus and then we'll reconvene in a little bit. Happy Vlogmas day 3. Back for a little check-in. We just had breakfast. I had a banana and some greens with creatine. Here's what I have to say about creatine. I love it, especially for the girls, okay? I feel like a lot of you that are here, sorry, Zion's freaking out. My 140-pound dog acts like a cat and loves reflections. I don't really know what the deal is with that. This one over here is melting. That's a thing. It's fine. Anyways, I just wanted to talk to you briefly about the supplements that I take and kind of why I take them, especially now that we're on this, you know, health and fitness era with my half marathon prep. I really want to dive into why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I want to preface this, every single body type is different and I'm probably doing a lot of things wrong. I don't know. I live trial by error, you know? I don't know. Trial and error, that's the one. This morning we had a banana because they look freaking beautiful. Let me show you. Like, aren't these the prettiest bananas you've ever seen? Anyways, we had that, a scoop of AG1 and half a scoop of creatine. Along with our coffee. I've had lots of water this morning and a little bit. I'm gonna do some electrolytes when I just need a little bit of a different drinky drink. When it comes to like diet and nutrition, I am so listen to your body and eat as much as you need to. based on hunger, not boredom. I typically fall into the boredom category, and that's my struggle zone. I'm trying to get better at that. Part of getting better at that is showing you guys what I'm eating and how I'm eating. And that also keeps me on track of like my protein intake, which is going to be super important during this running prep. I don't want to lose muscle. That's where we're at. Nice little check-in. Love you so much. You may or may not be able to tell that I did just have a little menty bee. I feel like the makeup is a little bit not the most fresh, if you will. Don't you just love when you have a partner that's like very in tune with how you're doing and your emotional state and like your dreams and your passions? Anyways, it's been a very interesting week, and sometimes I just feel, you know, when God, it feels like God is targeting you and he's like, hey girl, are you listening? Are you listening? Because I don't think you are. This week has definitely been one of those, like church on Sunday, feeling a little targeted. And then, you know, this week rolling around, just having some things in my head, on my heart, that are just kind of like, hey girl, you listening? You listening? And very much of the vicinity of like God's timing and how his timing is so perfect and beautiful. But a lot of times we are like, hey God, like I know you can. I know you can. Like, we've been talking about this same concept for a while now. Like, I know you can. And especially when it comes to dreams and passions, like obviously we've talked about this before, like a dream and passion of mine is to be a content creator full-time and be able to support my family, but also have a community online and build beautiful, meaningful relationships and post content that I care about and that resonates with other people. And it's just not happening as quickly as I would like it to. You know, like my timeline, God's like, I don't think we're lining up here. We're not in sync right now. And it very much reminds me of like in college, I was in a very healthy state. I had processed a lot of things that I needed to work through. Was I my healthiest ever? No. But like I was in a good place and I desperately wanted to be in a relationship. And let me tell you, God, he knew what he was doing, because in the end, his timing was perfect. Like, me and my husband dated for the perfect amount of time, I think, before we got engaged. Very, literally 3-week engagement. That's a story for another time. And then we got married, and it was right as we, like, were graduating. His lease was ending, and we were finding a place to live. I was getting a job, like, jobs out of college. It just worked out so perfectly. And looking back, I understand his timing in that. Because if we had met freshman year and dated for 4 years, I would have been so annoyed. I would have been like, hey, I wish we could get married sooner. You know, it would have been so much harder to wait for marriage and do a lot of those things. It just would have been really tough on our relationship to date all through college. And when we met, when we started dating, like the timing of it all was perfect. And that's just one example in my life where I look back and I see his perfect timing. But in the moment, it doesn't feel perfect. In the moment, it feels like, okay, God, I know you're never late, but it kind of feels like you might be on this one, you know? And that was our little mentee bee today, because my wonderful husband just reminds me how much he supports me and loves me. And if you're a girl that's looking for your future husband, looking for your future spouse, like the guy that would do anything for you to have your dreams and will find a way to make it work so you can have your dreams, that's the guy. And you want to feel the same. Like, it is so important to me. We, as a couple, made sacrifices and made choices so that Isaiah could be a firefighter, right? And that's his dream and that's his goals. And the same is true for me. Like, he would give up. If he could make it so that I could have my dream of being a content creator and feeling content and successful in that, he would. He would do whatever he needed to do. Unfortunately, that's not the way the internet works. You kind of have to just ride the wave. And I'm a firm believer in God's timing. Like, I know God's put this passion in my heart for a reason. And I fully believe that God puts our dreams and our passions in our hearts with a purpose for his kingdom. And even though I know that, it's still hard when you're like, hey God, like I feel like we're just not on the same timeline. Could you maybe like, let me know, you know, like maybe just give me an invite to when I can show up for when this dream comes to life. And it's really tough and really challenging when it's not that you are doubting that God could, because you know that he can in like the freaking blink of an eye, because he's the God of the universe, so all-powerful. It's not that you're doubting him, it's that you're frustrated because you know he could so easily and so quickly, and he hasn't. But you know he has perfect timing, and you just have to remind yourself of the character of Christ and the character of God. And this is a chat more for me than for you guys, but one day I want to look back at this and remember how I felt today. And so this is definitely making it into Vlogmas. I honestly think tonight I'm just gonna debrief. I think this is a really healthy discussion for us to leave it off on. We will catch up tomorrow. If you have any prayer requests or things that you just feel God's put on your heart, I would love for you to comment them, because I would love to pray about them for you and add it to my list. And I mean that so genuinely. Like, this is what I want this space to be. I want it to be full of truth and love. I want it to be full of kindness. I want it to be full of growing and trying hard things and putting yourself in uncomfortable situations to be better, but also being honest when we're just having a hard day. Thank you so much for being here and for listening. I love you guys. I think I'm just not gonna cut this whole thing, but I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Happy Vlogmas, and yeah. Cheers.